everyone, Mckaiser Dragon here, and today I guess we have another Dragons discussion. Uh, this kind of puts, um, what is it? I was listening to Dr. K and Jacksepticeye in their chat, and they talk about, you know, something about bacon. It's somewhere in there, somewhere in the middle. Um, and I've been listening to a lot of Dr. K stuff, which puts me in more of a thinking mood. So we're gonna talk about that a little bit. So of course, no hate, no nothing. We're just discussing stuff. If there's questions, leave comments down below, and we could talk about it. Um, yeah, no hate towards other people either. Um, but yeah, basically, I just want because this is my viewpoint on Endgame, and that's what the talk is going to be more about. Is my point of view, and yeah, leave your thoughts down below, please, so we can actually talk about this. So I know other people's thoughts, but I feel like Endgame is glorified, but the thing is with Endgame, it can be very lonely, and then on top of that, once you actually realize what's going on in Endgame, then you might not like it as much. And I will always say this, now that I realized it, and I said this in the past, I love mid-game, because mid-game isn't as exclusive as Endgame. And what do I mean by that? So, in mid game, everyone's working towards a common goal to get to end game. Everyone's working together. Uh, you can easily find a guild to join, and it doesn't really matter what guild you're in. Everyone's still working towards the same goals. Obtaining items and doing this and doing that is still, it's still important to do, but it's not like the most important thing to do. But there's a lot more leniency in mid game, and what I think people fail to realize is end game is like end game is like 10 steps ahead of you. Well, I wouldn't say 10 steps, but is on a different playing field because there's two things that's going on there. One is the game itself, and then two is um, what you need to do. And for most people, we do find like certain things boring even in mid game, but end game is just doing that, but with a lot more meaningful people. I won't say meaningful people. Doing that like repetitive, because basically mid game, like I said, mid game is things are more obtainable, but end game, like the drop chance is like 0.01% or 0.001%, and you're doing these things hundreds, if not thousands, of times, and even if uh, you're done with it, you're in a guild, and well, the guild has to be geared up too. So just because you're done doesn't mean you're done running it. So you gotta keep doing things that at first are difficult, but then slowly become easy, just to stay ahead. And another point I forgot to go over is like mid game is like where it feels like everyone's there, right? But end game, like, there's a very small percent of people there. So instead of working with everyone, like in mid game, late game, you're working against everyone. It feels like, because you have to get in that guild that will, push your gear up to the next level above everyone else before everyone else gets there. It becomes more of a rush, um, and then you gotta help other people do that. But then, on top of that, like I said, at first it's not easy, and if people think you're not performing well enough, well, they might kick you out. So that puts a lot of stress on the players that they have to perform a certain way. Rather in mid game, it's just like, oh, we'll just do whatever, and it's fine. So that's why I say like mid game is like everyone's in mid game. It's late game stuff that's like it's late game's just super tedious. There's not much room for adjustments, and everyone's fighting to get the gears that they want. And like depending on the game, I know a lot of games like a lot of games will time gate you, meaning like if the best gear is at this one boss, you might only be able to fight that boss once a week. And that makes it more meaningful for you to do it, but at the same time, like the bottom line is like everyone wants their gear, and then also the economy plays into that because if you finally do get that drop, well, that's worth a lot of money, and now people are also thinking about, oh, I want that money now. I want I want to feel rich, and so once again, because I don't know any other way to explain it right now, everyone is fighting with each other, and end game, and it's pretty hard to find like a dedicated group of people to actually complete the content and then be courteous enough to forego themselves, and then also find the right group of people that aren't so greedy that they once they get it they leave, because you got to put a lot of trust into your end game group, and then you also got to put a lot of trust that they'll be there. And that's the other hard part, is just like, if you think about it, are you always available at like 7 p.m. Thursday every week with no excuse? Real life gets in the way after a while, and a lot of us say the game's more important, and other people's like, no, my life is more important. And so we always want to find people that say the game's more important, and that's nice for like a few years, but after a while, you're in endgame. Everyone knows about endgame, and then it's not as fun anymore. And so people slowly, go towards new things, or they just move on from gaming itself. Yeah. So other than that, that's my point of view. What do you guys think? Like, do you think mid game is more fun than endgame? Do you think MMORPGs are just doing endgame wrong? Um, I feel like with my experience with Final Fantasy 14, that a lot of MMOs just do endgame very poorly because, like with 14, like sure I could like do heavy raiding, but there's always like an avenue for me to go back to the mid game level and enjoy content that's always been around, and to still have meaning within that, which I feel like a lot of games kind of slack of that after a while. Um, yeah, what do you guys enjoy doing more? In-game raids or having a group of friends just to hang out with? Puts things in perspective for me. I think the being able to ping pong around from in game to mid game is a very important part of an MMO, like with Final Fantasy 14. There's always stuff you can be working on, and that's what I like. But not like Black Desert Online does. Ew. No. So, yeah, those are my thoughts about in game. I feel like mid game is where I belong. So, other than that, thanks for watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and leave comments down below. Tell me what you guys think about this conversation. See you guys next time. Bye.